Thank you for your love, your constant support, and every generous donation that helps this mission grow. Your presence here means more than words can express. With gratitude and light, some pains in the body seem to have no explanation. They arise, return, and insist. And no matter how much you search for physical causes, something inside you feels that the origin may be deeper. In this video, we will talk about what these pains want to show you spiritually. Each point in your body may be asking for something that your soul needs to hear. Spirituality sees the body as a mirror. When there is an emotional blockage, an unhealed wound, or an internal conflict, it finds a way to manifest. And often that way is through pain. A pain that, on the surface, seems physical, but inside carries an energetic, symbolic, spiritual message. This content does not replace a medical diagnosis, but it serves to open your spiritual eyes, to remind you that the body does not suffer alone. It feels along with the soul. And understanding this may be the first step toward healing pains that have lasted for months, years, or entire cycles of your life. Let's analyze, part by part, what your head, shoulders, spine, hands, feet, and other areas are trying to communicate. Perhaps today, you will start to understand signals that you have ignored for a long time. But before continuing, follow the channel and activate notifications. That way, you won't miss any content that could transform your consciousness and your path. Head and neck. When the mind weighs down and the heart hardens, the headache is not always just physical fatigue or a lack of water. In many cases, it arises without an apparent clinical reason, and still insists on repeating itself. When this happens, it is important to stop and ask yourself, what is my mind trying to tell me? Spiritually, the head is the center of thought, analysis, worry, and logic. When you think too much, try to control everything, seek answers to everything, your head starts to carry more weight than it should. And this excess transforms into pain, like a silent warning that something needs to stop, be relieved, or slowed down. Many headaches have emotional and energetic origins. They appear when you demand too much from yourself, take on too many responsibilities, or try to solve problems that are not yours. The constant pressure to get it right, produce, or please others accumulates tension in silence until the body speaks. Spirituality invites you to look at pain as a sign, not as an enemy. An agitated mind needs space. It needs silence. Practices like meditation, conscious breathing, quiet prayers, or even just sitting in silence for a few minutes help restore that balance. But it is not enough to relax on the outside. You need to free what is pressuring you on the inside. Often, the pain in the head also carries repressed frustrations, thoughts that go in circles, unanswered questions, unresolved grievances. They are like dark clouds blocking your inner clarity. The path to healing is to release these burdens, to understand that you do not need to know everything, control everything, or carry everything. Neck pain, on the other hand, speaks of emotional rigidity. If the head represents what we think, the neck connects that thought to what we feel. When there is tension in the neck, there is usually emotional resistance. You may be stuck on an idea, a belief, or a resentment that no longer serves you. But still, you cannot let go. This rigidity can be with others. Difficulty forgiving, accepting different viewpoints, or making space for sincere conversations. Or it can be with yourself. Old guilt, extreme self-demand, regrets that still hold you back in the past. In both cases, the neck locks up, physically and spiritually. The invitation of pain, in this case, is just one: flexibility. The world does not require you to agree with everything, but it asks you to accept the natural flow of life. Nothing remains fixed, neither thoughts nor feelings. Healing happens when you start to allow change, inside and out. The neck also holds the weight of unspoken words. How many times have you wanted to say something and stayed silent? How many times have you swallowed what you felt to avoid conflict or to appear strong? The energy of these unexpressed words accumulates, and the neck is one of the areas that feels this blockage the most. The pain arises as a reminder. Your truth needs space. Forgiveness is liberation, and it starts with you. Letting go of rigidity is an act of spiritual self-care. The pain is just asking, let go. Look with more lightness, listen more, without the filter of fear or hurt, and notice how, gradually, the weight in your head diminishes and the neck begins to move with more freedom. Your body is talking to you. Listen with care. Healing begins with listening. Shoulders and arms. The invisible weight and the difficulty of opening up. How many times have you felt overwhelmed, even when no one around you seemed to notice? That feeling of carrying everything on your shoulders, of being responsible for everyone, may seem like part of the routine. But spiritually, it leaves marks on your body, and the first to feel it are your shoulders. Shoulder pain is not just the result of poor posture or physical effort. In spirituality, it often represents the accumulation of emotional responsibilities. You carry much more than you should. You bear burdens that are not yours, try to fix pains you did not cause, and take on roles that distance you from who you really are. And over time, the body complains. Many people believe, consciously or unconsciously, that they will be more valued if they are always available, solving everything for everyone. This transforms into a dynamic of self-neglect. The soul grows tired of being forgotten. Pain arises to remind you. You do not need to prove your worth by carrying the world on your shoulders. Accepting help is an act of self-love. Delegating is not synonymous with weakness. It is wisdom. The spiritual healing of the shoulders begins when you allow yourself to be human, with limits, pauses, and flaws. It is when you learn to take care of yourself without feeling guilty for not being able to sustain everything alone. Now think about the arms. They are an extension of your heart. It is with them that you embrace, hold, push away, give, and protect. When there is pain in the arms, the message may be, you are resisting opening up to the new. Whether it is a new phase, a new relationship, or even a new version of yourself, lighter and more true. Often this pain appears when you are afraid of losing control, afraid of exposing yourself, of getting hurt, of not being reciprocated, and that fear transforms into rigidity. The arm stiffens as if saying, I cannot let go, I cannot trust, I cannot open up. The soul understands this as a block. Spiritual healing in the arms requires the courage to let go of what no longer serves you, to make space for what life wants to give you. Receiving is an act of humility and faith. You do not need to fight for everything. Some things come when you keep your heart open and your arms available. It is also important to reflect. Have you allowed yourself to give genuinely? Or do you always give love in exchange for acceptance, fear, or neediness? True giving comes from overflow, not from scarcity. When you give yourself fully without expecting immediate return, the arms relax, because they know they are not being used as a shield, but as a bridge. Massaging the arms, moving them consciously, practicing stretches, and opening the chest are physical ways to release these energies. But the most transformative is the internal attitude. Letting go of the self-defense patterns that prevent you from receiving affection, support, help, and love. Remember, you are not here to carry everything, nor to hide behind strength. Strong shoulders and arms also know how to embrace, let go, trust, and love. Honor your pains, Listen to your tensions and allow yourself to make space for a lightness that you may not know you deserve, but need. Hands and chest. Between control and what needs to be felt, our hands are among the most expressive tools of our body. With them, we hold, give, protect, and push away. But when there is pain or constant discomfort in the hands, the body may be trying to say something deeper. You are holding on to things that should have been let go of long ago. Pain in the hands, spiritually, often indicates a fear of letting go of control. It may be control over a situation that escapes you, a person you cannot change, or even over expectations that never materialize. You hold on tightly as if letting go means losing something important, but often it is just the opposite. Relief comes when you let go. Holding on too much causes tension, both emotional and energetic. It is like trying to contain the flow of a river with your own hands. The spiritual invitation here is to detach, to trust that life has its own intelligence, that some situations need to go to make room for the new, that you do not need to hold on to everything to stay steady. Practicing detachment is not losing. It is allowing energy to flow again. When you let go of what you cannot control, you begin to receive what is truly yours. And this involves faith, not in something external, but in life's own capacity to reorganize itself in your favor. Now let's talk about the chest, the region of the heart, where the deepest sensitivity resides. When the chest hurts without an apparent physical cause, it may be a sign of emotional blockages, unexpressed sadness, repressed resentments, words that got stuck in the throat. The chest feels what the heart could not transform. Many people find it difficult to express their feelings. They swallow their tears, disguise their pain, and maintain a smile even when their chest is tight. This disconnection between what is felt and what is expressed accumulates until it turns into physical tension. The pain appears as a silent scream. Feel, speak, heal. The spiritual healing of the chest begins with emotional honesty, not just with others, but with yourself. Allowing yourself to feel what hurts, writing about it, talking to those who need to hear it. Sometimes, it is not about big conversations. It is about small truths that you need to embrace. Emotions are like water. When dammed up too much, they press from within. The heart chakra is also linked to acceptance. When you reject parts of yourself, past mistakes, unresolved decisions, traits you do not like, the heart closes off. The chest hardens, and this creates a constant pain, as if you do not allow yourself to exist fully. The path is the opposite. To embrace yourself with everything there is. Allow yourself to love again. First and foremost, yourself. Let go of what was trapped. Heal what the heart tried to hide. Your hands do not need to hold everything anymore, and your chest does not need to hide what you feel. When you understand this, you begin to breathe better, inside and out. Back. The body screams where you held on too much. The back is, symbolically, the rear of the soul. That which you do not see, but feel. That which you carry, even without realizing it. And when it starts to hurt, especially without a concrete clinical explanation, it is almost always a sign of energetic and emotional overload. The pain is the reminder there is something too heavy for you to continue carrying alone. The upper back usually hurts when you carry too many responsibilities, or responsibilities that aren't even yours. It is there that emotional burdens accumulate, obligations, promises you could not fulfill. Expectations others placed on you, pressures that were never voiced, but were always present. Many people feel this pain when they live trying to prove their worth. They want to show that they are strong, capable, worthy of love. And without realizing it, they take on everything. They hold on to avoid disappointing, to not seem weak, to continue being useful. But this usefulness, silently demanded, turns into pain. Healing begins with a simple but courageous step: setting boundaries. Saying no is not selfish, it is respect. Understanding how far you can go and communicating this clearly is one of the greatest acts of self-love. Seeking true support is also essential. No one lives well alone. The weight only becomes unbearable when you convince yourself that you cannot share it, and you can. Lower back pain, on the other hand, has a deeper and more instinctual character. It is linked to fear, especially the fear of lacking a foundation, security, or stability. The lower back is connected to the root chakra, the energy center linked to survival, home, money, work, and basic emotional structure. When this area hurts, the soul is trying to say, "I do not feel safe." It could be financial insecurity, fear of losing a job, fear of sudden changes, or of not being able to support yourself or those you love. It is a pain that pulses with the anxiety of the future, and it cannot be resolved merely by resting. The spiritual response to this type of pain is internal strengthening. It begins with building self-confidence. Not that forced or feigned confidence, but a quiet certainty that, even without knowing everything, you can support yourself. Life may be unstable, but you can be steadfast. Practices that help alleviate this pain involve both body and soul. Walking with presence, practicing outdoor meditation, grounding by touching the earth with bare feet, caring for physical health, and nurturing emotional discipline. All of this is a way to remind your body, "I am here. I am my foundation." It is also important to make plans, not to control everything, but to give direction to your energy, clearly planning what you want, where you can save, and where you can change. Organizing the external world so that your internal world can breathe. This won't eliminate all pains, but it aligns your energy with the stability you seek so much. Stomach and hips. What you have not yet digested, and what prevents you from moving forward. Not everything that bothers the stomach comes from food. Often, what is stuck there is emotional. Anxiety, fear, unexpressed sadness, and anger are digested by the body as emotional food. And when you do not release these emotions, they accumulate in the abdominal area, causing pain, burning, reflux, tension, and discomfort that feels physical but goes beyond. The stomach is deeply linked to how you process what you experience. When something hits you and you swallow silently, it is as if your soul sends everything to that area. And over time, this transforms into an energetic knot. A constant tension that sometimes comes with fatigue, discomfort, or a tightness you cannot even name. The spiritual message of stomach pain is simple and direct. You need to release what you feel. This may mean crying, writing, talking to someone you trust, or just taking a deep breath and allowing the emotion to flow through you, instead of trying to suppress it. Emotion, when not felt, becomes tension. And tension, when ignored, turns into pain. The hips are also related to the sacral chakra, which governs creativity, pleasure, expression, and emotional flexibility. When there is a blockage there, it is common to feel stuck, locked up, or emotionally disconnected. Working the body through dance, stretching, and hip-opening exercises can help. But the main thing is to release what is blocking your inner flow. Allow yourself to change. Give yourself the chance to walk lightly. Every pain carries a calling. In the stomach, it asks for emotional digestion. In the hips, it asks for freedom. And when you respond to these calls, the body begins to breathe differently, because the soul has finally started to move with it again. Legs and feet. The fear of moving forward and the disconnection from the now. The legs support the body. They are the ones that move you, that put you on your path. that maintain balance when everything around seems unstable. When pain arises in the legs without clear medical causes, the soul is trying to show you something. You are afraid to move forward. You are too stagnant, stuck, or unsure about what lies ahead. This emotional stagnation can be silent. Sometimes you are even moving externally, going to work, fulfilling your obligations. But inside you are paralyzed, without enthusiasm, without direction, as if the steps are being taken only out of obligation, not purpose. And the body feels it. The legs become heavy. It hurts to continue like this. Spiritually, pain in the legs points to the need for action aligned with the soul. You do not need to take great leaps. You just need to start with small steps toward what makes sense to you. Moving forward, even if slowly. Stopping the postponement of decisions. Ceasing to live in what if and starting to live in here I am. This type of pain is also connected to self-confidence. The legs fail when you doubt yourself, when you forget the strength you have drawn on so many times to get up after falls. Healing here does not come only from rest. It comes from moving with awareness, walking with intention, choosing firmly, acting with truth. The feet are the roots. They connect you to the ground, to the present moment, to the now. When the feet hurt spiritually, it is a sign of disconnection. You may be living too much in your mind, stuck in future worries or past regrets. You may be floating between plans and ideas, but forgetting to live what is in front of you. The body calls you back. Return to the ground. Re-establish contact with your base. Feel the earth. Notice the weight of your body, the firmness of your steps. The feet remind us that before any elevated spiritual path, we need to be present in the body, present in real life. Grounding practices are especially important at this stage. Walking barefoot on grass or soil, taking deep breaths while focusing on the body, meditating while sitting on the ground, caring for your nutrition with awareness. All of this reconnects. All of this helps the spirit return to the now, where real life happens. The feet are also a reflection of how you deal with choices. If it is hard to walk, it may be difficult to decide. You may be sitting on the fence wanting to move forward without letting go of what you need to release. And this creates an internal tension that manifests physically. The spiritual invitation here is to step firmly, not just to walk for the sake of walking, but to walk with awareness of where you are going. Each step is a choice, and each clear choice returns energy to the body. It aligns the soul with movement. Honor your legs for all that they have supported. Care for your feet as one cares for the roots of a tree. When your entire body feels supported by the present, the fear of the future begins to lose strength. And you start to walk again, not as an escape, but as presence, integrating it all into healing. When the body becomes a path and not an obstacle. After everything we have seen, one thing becomes clear. Your body is not against you. It is by your side. Every pain, every discomfort, every tension is a form of communication. They are not just symptoms. They are signs. Signs that something within needs to be acknowledged, embraced, and transformed with awareness. Healing does not begin when the pain disappears. It begins when you stop ignoring what you feel. When you stop treating your body as a problem and start listening to it as an ally. The body shows what the soul has not yet expressed in words, and the more you listen, the more it calms down. The process of spiritual healing is simple, yet profound. Recognizing the pain, seeking what it means spiritually, and taking actions aligned with that truth. Sometimes it is about letting go of something that has already ended. Other times it is about forgiving, releasing control, affirming your truth, changing patterns, starting over, even if slowly. Each region of the body has something to say. A restless head calls for inner silence. A closed heart cries out for emotional expression. A stiff hip asks for the courage to move forward. Tired feet show that you are far from the now, and thus, by mapping the body, you also map the areas of life that need attention. The great key is to step out of automatic mode, to look more mindfully at yourself, to understand that the body does not lie. It merely repeats with precision what is trapped inside. When you transform the internal, the external begins to adjust, and the pain, which once seemed like a punishment, becomes a guide. It is not about never feeling pain again. It is about knowing how to listen, to respond with kindness, not to blame yourself for feeling, but to take care of yourself for being alive. True healing is not the absence of symptoms. It is the presence of awareness. And spirituality serves as a bridge between what the body asks for and what your soul needs. You do not need ready-made formulas. You need truth, small steps, sincere listening, and practices that make sense to you. This may include meditation, prayers, walking, therapies, music, silence, writing. What is important is not to distance yourself from yourself, because all pain arises from a point of disconnection, and all healing is an act of reconnection. So, as you finish this content, I invite you to a simple reflection. Which part of your body spoke to you the most today? Which pain revealed itself as a sign and not as a burden? Comment below. In which area of the body did you feel a spiritual message today? This comment is not just yours. It may also touch someone who is going through something similar. When you share your perception, you help expand healing for others. And this is one of the most beautiful ways to serve with awareness. See you in the next content. Take care of yourself and listen to your body as one listens to their own soul.